Um. Cool. Welcome, everybody. Glad you could make it. Okay, so welcome and introduction, since it looks like there's a bunch of new faces that I don't know. We're gonna start with Denise, and you get to start us off.
So you wanna go
Yeah, we'll just
this
go.
way? Okay.
Let's go with
So, I'm Kenise Whitaker, and do you want us to have any other introduction?
What you do, like, okay, Reader's Digest version.
All right. And so I'm the new events manager. I took Katrina's spot, Karina's spot.
Katrina?
You'll find that it takes me a minute to get names down, so I'm so sorry about that. But I'm from Orem, and I have lived in like every quadrant of Orem and raised my kids here, and I love it. I love Orem and I love the events, and so I'm so excited to be a part of this and to be able to mingle with you, so.
What was your background?
My background?
Yeah.
As far as professional, I just came from United Way of Northern Utah. I worked with nonprofit running an AmeriCorps program, so helping a lot with getting AmeriCorps members into schools, helping to run that program a lot more on the administrative side. And so, yeah, Sydney is our power events coordinator, and I'm more on the administrative side, and we make a power duo. So, yeah.
Right.
My name is Bryce Merrill. I am the Recreation and Library Director for the City of Warren. I've been here for about 3.5 years and have been working with the Events Commission now for just over 2 years.
Rodney Gardner, I'm a graduate of Warren High. And I am also the vendor for American Legion Pulse and the chairman of the Heritage Commission.
I'm Kat Lyle, and I have been helping out with the Orem Fest for a long time. Yeah, lost count. Been helping out with that for a while.
I'm Ashley Mann. I've been here close to 8 years.
Wow.
Yes. I'm here for now.
Yeah.
I'm Jill Winder. I work at Public Works.
I'm Tammy Burgess. I just moved to Orem not too long ago. I grew up in Linden, but I've been in Alpine the last 16 years and just barely moved from Alpine to Orem. And I was on the committee there for the event the last 16 years and the chair for the last 4 or 5. So I did a lot professionally, a lot of events for nonprofits, starting nonprofits and everything like that. And I got 4 kids, so I do this.
I'm Christy Eakins, and I'm over boutiques, and this is like my 4th year. That's great.
Maybe Ray, former city councilwoman, center of my place. I've been helping with the parade, but this year my family will not let me do that. So you'll have to find a new place for me they're like, we wanna watch it, not be part of it. So I don't know where I'll land or if you want me, but it can't be day of. My family's let me know, not the day of, except for maybe Rotary breakfast. I'll be at that anyway.
I'm Ashley Shumway. I have lived in Orem forever. And I have raised my kids here. I've been managing a dental practice here for about 23 years. And been involved in a bunch of like swim clubs and kids theater programs for a couple years too. And
I'm Krista Tate, and I'm also an Orem High alum. And I went to Sarah Park long before it became Centennial, and I have a grandson that will be attending Centennial this fall. So it's a cool thing. But I love Orem and I love to serve, so I'm just excited to be here.
And I'm Jen Gale, and I am on the city council, and I am not unfortunately an Orem High graduate, but I do love Orem High. I've lived in Orem for 19 years now, so we've been here a while and we love it. It's a great place to host families, and I'm super excited, not only about Orem Fest, but about some of the other fun events our events commission is doing, and I'm excited that you're all here and want to serve, so thank you.
And I'm Pete Wolfley. I'm hoping to take some classes at Orem High so I can claim that too. And I've been with the city 10 years, do communications and marketing, and love Orem Fest.
And then I'm Sydney, I'm city events coordinator here. I've been here since last September, so just over, almost 2 years. And I love it here, but I just companies and we manage the events in the city and all that. So excited to work with you, really excited for what's coming in this year and how, how all of you guys are gonna get involved in better and bigger ways. And so, yeah, we're excited.
Bryce, you're next, apparently.
Wonderful, thank you. So I just want to take a few minutes today and take you through our off-season moves. When we were last together, we were planning Orem Fest, and now we have several new commission members. We have a brand new commission name, and we have a couple of changes to how we will be functioning as a commission. So I want to sort of go over those and then see if there are any questions or concerns, and then, Jen from the city council perspective or myself from the staff perspective, we can sort of walk you through that. So this was part of a greater effort from the city council to align, I don't want to put words around, but align our commissions and boards with our residents and with the way that we are functioning as a city. And so previously there were 23,
6 maybe.
26, there were a lot of commissions, and some of them, the purposes or scopes had changed, or we had some overlapping things, and so we really wanted to make sure that the charge of each of the commissions was clear, and to make sure that y'all were being put into really successful positions, so you didn't feel like, oh, a commission would take these 3 steps forward, and we have to go over to another commission and wait for them, and then it was just sort of a longer, clunkier process. And so what we really wanted to do was streamline it and put y'all in a position where y'all could be really effective as commission members, that what y'all needed from staff is a lot clearer, and we could support you. So we wanted to go over a little bit of the code. I won't read our code today. If you would like to go online and read city code, be my guest. Yeah. And it's all pretty straightforward, but what we have sort of changed is to go from an Orem Fest, which was a summer fest, which is, Orem Fest, to an Orem Events Commission. What this does is it allows us to, as a commission, oversee currently 5 major events in the city, sort of spread throughout the calendar year. And it also seeks to align the work that y'all are being asked to do at Orem Fest. Former council member Lorraine drew attention. We want y'all to be able to enjoy and participate in the events that you spend so much time and energy planning. And sometimes the assignments being made to resident volunteers put y'all at the back of the parade supervising the cleanup efforts. And we thought staff can take care of that. Let's get y'all in that advisory role, that planning role, that sort of overarching position. One of the other major changes is we used to have lights on be just a parks and recreation event, our Christmas lights. But what we found ourselves running into was we wanted to test some event elements at Lights On or our Touch of Truck, Trunk or Treat is the new name. Truck or Treat Halloween event, or some of our farmers markets, food events. And we would say that might be a really cool thing to do with Orem Fest as well. But Orem Fest is so big, we're hesitant to get to change too many things because it's such a big event. So what if we could test it at the smaller event that has 2,500 people at it? And then we could sort of connect that to the work that we're doing the week of Orem Fest. And so we found this need to start to have an events commission that could be with us for each of those events. Now, Denise and Sydney plan and execute just over 50 events a year for the city. Many of those are smaller, really focused to a particular neighborhood, focused to a particular subset of our city. And we don't plan to, unless we hear from y'all as a commission that you'd like more of an oversight. Well, we don't plan to have y'all involved in all 50 of those. That's why we have 2 full-time staff, and they can execute a lot of those details. However, for our big 5, we would love to move some of those to our regular meeting cadence so that y'all can be aware of it, and we feel like we are delivering a consistent experience to the residents. When they show up to Memorial Day or Veterans Day, or Truck or Treat, or Lights On, or Orem Fest or Taste, y'all would help us deliver something that feels like, oh, this is obviously an Orem City event. These are the same types of wayfinding, these are the same level of expectations for safety plans, contingency plans and bad weather plans. You know, each of those types of things, we feel like we have a really consistent experience. So as commission members, the things that we hope to work with y'all at these meetings is to help us build out that calendar. We have, again, our majors and then some of our minor events, making sure that we feel comfortable with how we are delivering events to the city throughout the year. There would be elements of event support. We mentioned boutiques, we mentioned parade. We want y'all to feel control over certain elements, but then to clarify and say, what do you want to do and what's available for you? And then what can we do to free you up during the execution of the event, or some of the phone calls and the contracts and the agreements in between, so that we're working with y'all's direction and ideas, but then clearly and cleanly handing off to our event staff so they can go and execute for y'all in between. We seek to have y'all advise and make recommendations for the city events, debrief and report of city events to the city council. We run a process called the Good, Bad, Ugly, or a GBU post-event process. And so that starts with y'all's feedback, what went well, what was tough but behind the scenes, what was tough and in front of the scenes, what did the residents notice, what can we do to change, how can we improve? And so y'all will be a part of that process to us, and then also part of providing that feedback to our council in regular meetings or work meetings as well. We look to y'all to leverage your relationships and your influence and impact in the community by helping with volunteer community connection. If y'all have groups that we need to be reaching out to, we can't wait to hear from you. If you know of your school or your club or your other event activity and say they would love to do this seems like a partnership waiting to happen. We hope that y'all are comfortable sharing that with us so we can follow your lead there. And then the last one is some of the event theming. As we go into aesthetic choices, we look at things like our theme, our theming, or when we have boutiques, how can we better make it and present it in a way that feels different at our fall event than it does at our winter event than it does at our summer event? How can we do some of those types of things? And so those aesthetic choices or theme choices, we really look to work with y'all on. Events testing, again, sometimes we do talent shows, other times we do hot dog eating contests, sometimes it's pie baking, sometimes it's judging, sometimes we bring in VIPs from the community, other times we're looking to, you know, go through the conversations to say, what's the right mix for this event? What should we do here? And then, again, it gives clear charge to the staff to go and try to execute on our behalf and make something happen and call up the right vendors and bring in the right food trucks and go from there. From a staff perspective, as part of the events commission, we get a chance to understand the city's policies and procedures. Our goal is not to say no or yes, to not give you a reason why, but it is also contingent on us to follow the outlines of our risk management department, our legal team, the will of the council or the council areas of focus. And so hopefully, instead of y'all having to go through and read pages and pages of risk management plans, we can say, okay, we've brought this idea forward and we would love to have fire juggling. Love it. Very exciting, very cool. Let me run that by risk department and we'll get back to you and let's see what we can do. And we can have some of those conversations with y'all. Or when we talk about the parade route and the parade floats, we're the ones that can maybe go and meet with Keith Stevenson is our city staff over emergency operations center. He can go through and talk to us about the SWAT response plan and the traffic plan and the bad weather plan and all of those types of things. So y'all, your time can be focused on what I would say are the more impactful elements to the residents, and we get a chance to spend some time working through some of those behind the scene elements. Same thing for purchasing. We have purchasing contracts that we need to not worry about, that help protect the best interests of the city, that keep our books clean, that keep our practices, if we need to be getting bids, if we need to be doing purchase cards, those types of things. And so by keeping those to city staff, it again protects y'all and protects the staff in ways that keep us really compliant with a lot of our auditing and our fiduciary responsibilities. Interdepartment coordination. If you came to these events previously, we would typically have anywhere from 5 to 20 staff that would be involved. Now, ideally, we're able to pull the staff in on a meeting or an agenda item that is pertinent to y'all. They can present and they don't have to be here for the rest of the meeting. And so when we have PD and parks and public works and, you know, each of these different groups, y'all are able to execute and give some charge on and some advisement, and then we're able to go to the different departments and make it work behind the scenes. It's a lot easier for our staff to have some sort of ad hoc meetings with particular groups. So y'all aren't worried about trying to figure out how to coordinate the schedules of 5 or 6 different staff across different departments. We will take care of the annual budget and present to y'all a budget with your feedback of, hey, if we need to accomplish this, this would be the budget. We can worry about that. Logistics and scheduling, vendor and resident interaction, sponsorship, staffing. On the vendor and resident interaction, I think this was an important one. And one that maybe we haven't figured out all the way. Sometimes we have tough interactions with residents, and we don't want to put y'all in a tough de-escalation customer service role with the way some of the previous assignments have been laid out. If they had a problem, sorry, don't do teach, you sit across from me.
Thanks.
They had a problem with the teams,
No.
Then they're gonna,
Absolutely.
they wanna come find you and they wanna come have some conversation with you. And that just feels outside the scope of your responsibility on an events commission. We want to, as a staff, be able to work with you and then represent the decisions that y'all have made and then be able to sort of absorb that as staff members. We have a number that they can call Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. They can, send us emails, those types of things. And so the goal there is to really not be in the way or not gatekeep on y'all's behalf, but instead maybe when it's coming back, we can, as staff, work that through our usual processes, log it where we need to log it, keep track of it, make sure they feel heard. And so when they want to escalate it, or they want to bring it up at a meeting, or if they have concerns about a budget or an aesthetic choice, or how dare you have picked this person to be this volunteer, we're able to, as staff, represent y'all's best interests and take that on. Sponsorship and staffing, again, we're glad to take these types of things on. If you have connections, if you have things, if you have a company that, we're running an event and our mission aligns with theirs, we'd love to hear it. And then we can take it through our contracts and procurement processes, so they don't feel like, hey, we paid to sponsor this and we expected X, Y, and Z, and you didn't deliver. We have a contract process for that. We want our sponsors to feel really good about the process. We want y'all to feel like you were involved, and then also not that you had to go through and represent the financial impact or the sponsorship activation portion of what we're doing. And then, of course, staffing. We love to work with different groups. We love volunteers, but there are several functions that we will have staffing on. And so as staff take that on, it's a lot easier for us to activate our staff than it is for y'all. And so you're able to say, hey, I'd love a couple of staff, I'd love this, and then we can go and make that happen. So I think that's about it. This had a couple of our big events, our Truck or Treat, Lights On, Taste of Orem, and Orem Fest. Since then, we're very lucky and beyond excited to work with our heritage group to make sure that we are able to deliver on our Memorial Day and our Veterans Day presentations. And then as we learn more about going and focusing on these larger events, we're excited to sort of see what the calendar looks like in 2026 and beyond and go from there. So that's a very brief overview of the process with the city council, the information presented and voted on by our council. Do you have any questions or concerns, anything that you feel like needs to be clarified as we move forward?
Can I ask what they allocated for the budget for all of these events? Was there a dollar amount, or was it? Like, is it like 50,000 or?
Great question. Heather Cox runs our sponsorship and grant, she's our sponsorship and grant writer for the city. And so the better grants go, or the better sponsorships go, the more budget we have. Last year, Orem Fest operated on a budget of $80,000 of sponsorship. Some of the other events like Truck or Treat, again, a lot of it depends on grants. The Lights On event, the event itself is a few $1,000s. That doesn't include the cost of installing and hanging the lights or anything like that. So it really depends. One thing that's exciting about this is it will allow us, if we grow revenue or attendance or sponsorship in one event, we can use that to support that event or the next event, or it allows us to purchase what we call evergreen equipment. If we buy a sound system for Orem Fest, that'll benefit our operation at Lights On. And so it does make for a year-round calendar, so hopefully we're a little bit more efficient with the dollars provided.
And then is there like, I know in the past you've had like a fireworks sponsorship, but it always felt like we were always begging to make sure that happened, and that was dictating how long that was gonna be. Is there city council budgets? Okay, we're gonna have a 20-minute, if we have sponsorship, great. If we don't, we're still gonna have it. I guess my question is there a minimum threshold?
That's, I think, something we would love to push to the commission. Hey, what is our order of priority? If $0 of sponsorship comes in, where do you want to start protecting and what are we willing to let go? So those are the types of conversations and questions we bring to the group. If we say honestly, anywhere from 7 minutes plus, it's all the same, then we know that could be a spot that we could reduce costs. If we're saying, do not touch that fireworks show, it is 20 minutes or less, then we look at some of our Monday through Wednesday events or something like that, so.
Does Jen have an opinion on something like that?
I think, first of all, I think Bryce has done a great job at helping us go through this process and protect money for Orem Fest. Obviously, we don't want it to impact our city budget, so our tax dollars are paying exponentially for things they probably shouldn't. So, I think that'll be something we feel as we go, but I think that Bryce has set up a great direction for us.
And early returns on our sponsorship outreach are very positive. I don't think we are not here to ring a warning bell or present a 50% cost reduction or anything like that. I think the community support for Orem Fest is at an all-time high. And in fact, it led to an all-time high for Lights On sponsorship this last year, where we don't feel like we are in a difficult position. I think we're trying to grow and enforce prudently rather than what do we have to get rid of.
I'll just make a statement, the more fireworks, the better, that's all I can say. It was a great show this year, and I don't know if drones are gonna be part of it, I mean, it looks like a lot of drones are.
Too soon, guys. We'll get to that.
I don't understand.
Sydney alludes, we attempted a drone show at our Lights On, and it failed. We used the premier vendor of drone shows in Utah. This is a group that does high-end collegiate and other massive 4th of July and city events. The drones didn't work for us. And what's great is you didn't hear about it because we didn't test it out at Orem Fest. And so we were happy to have tested out at a smaller event for the first time, and so hopefully it failed quietly. It's a good vendor. They're working well with us. There's some sort of GPS technical.
There's a
stuff.
couple of technical difficulties. We tried till the very last second
Yeah.
to make it happen, but,
And it didn't. So
and it was not our fault.
to
I'm just
clarify,
throwing it out, I'm not trying to figure out, I'm saying, I noticed a lot more.
and I don't think we'll ever, unless directed to, I don't think we'd look to replace fireworks with drones. We think it's a additive thing,
Okay.
not a hybrid.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Don't worry.
All right, I'll be quiet now.
Oh, no, you're good.
Any other questions or concerns on the events commission and we are no longer the Orem Fest Commission, we are the events commission. And some of the new assignments for how commission members and how staff can sort of interact and work together and hopefully get the most out of one another. You feel good?
Will we continue to just meet monthly year round? Is that-
We do not anticipate the changes made to represent an increase in work for y'all. So yeah, we will have some year-round meetings. We will still have some gaps where we don't meet. I think we're currently slated for 8 or 9 meetings annually. With taking off right after Orem Fest.
Yeah.
And a couple other
Probably
spots.
December.
Yeah, December, there won't be a need to meet. So hopefully about the same rhythm. We'll just have a couple of agenda items where we say, hey, here's what's happening at Veterans this month.
Yeah.
Lights on in 2 months, and we are doing the early planning for Orem Fest in. Okay, thank you.
Hey, I'm just gonna say something really fast about this review. The last meeting we had was back in May. We have a whole new, pretty much committee sitting here, so it just didn't really make sense to give people a minutes. Hopefully the next week, I would like to send around to everybody via email a copy of, phone numbers and addresses. Please take a look at that, and if you need it changed, just let me know. If you have certain phone numbers that you want to be kept personal, just for, commission members only, please let me know that as well. And then I will also, put out the yearly calendar, so you get it on there.
You want me to start?
Yes.
Okay, we're just following the agenda. All right, so we do need to elect a new chair and vice chair for this commission. It is just a 1 month term, or not 1 month, 1 year term. So, we do have a chair, and so just wanted to describe a little bit of what is involved with that position. You would obviously, be officiating these commission meetings, but then you would also work alongside Sydney and I to, plan the agenda for the following meetings. You would also just work closely with us and with the commission members to just provide assistance as needed. And then there is a report that is presented for the events, to the city council. So that is mostly what is involved in the chair. Do you want to add anything more to what is kind of this? Okay, and then vice chair, Bill Euban, thank you so much for serving, and thank you, Chrissy, for serving us well. Is step in your supportive role to the chair and step in whenever the chair is not available to lead. So that's kind of the basics.
Sorry, inside joke.
Oh, no worries. So we do need to elect a new chair and a new vice chair. There is some language there to assist with this process written around.
Yeah.
They were the last year.
So does that, as vice chair, does that mean he goes to the chair?
It's not an automatic,
No,
But it can't be nominated, and I motion to nominate.
I nominate Ashley.
Okay.
Well, they seem to know that,
What's my, but,
you missed out.
I filled in for her, for half of it.
so I didn't ask you, Christy, how you wanted to handle the voting, if you wanted to do it by hand, by ballots. How do you want to?
There's a right or wrong ways.
They can say nominations
We
and
just
then-
say nomination.
And then they say why they don't want it, and then you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you vote them in anyways, right? Okay.
Well, who's not here that's not speaking?
Well, Chrissy, do you want to receive some nominations then?
Yes. Sorry, I don't understand this. Do I need nominations?
Just say open for nominations, and you can do, you start with chair or vice chair, which do you want? Chair?
So the
Chair. Okay.
Who's gonna nominate?
Well, I can nominate Bill because he's been vice chair, and it seems like a natural progression.
I think it's a great one. I second that motion.
But he can decide, what he can tell us why he doesn't think that's good. Oh, stereo.
What?
I nominate you.
Can't do it again, I don't think so.
Yeah, you can. It's a different.
I do it here.
Is there anybody attending interested?
Yeah, that's.
I nominate Ashley.
Okay.
Which actually.
Is Ashley.
That sounds good.
Do we have a second on that?
I'll second it.
Do you,
Oh.
are you dating someone that wants to do that? Are you interested in something like that? I would love to know. Who would
Yeah,
be
I would be
interested?
interested. I mean, I don't actually.
Yes.
Oh, it's already walked in.
Yes.
Tell me
you guys
Just that she put out.
Yeah.
That's all.
Anyway.
He's been helping out with Form Fest. A lot of years too.
Okay, so please, tell us, I mean,
Yeah.
Sure, I would love to, I mean, maybe be the vice chair and be the, you know. The background, yeah, I can figure it out, so I've never done this before.
Okay, good plan.
Yeah.
So Ashley chair, Ashley vice chair. Go ahead.
Okay, we gotta take votes.
Well, I guess we'll do it.
Are we not closing the nominations then?
He doesn't want to do it, okay.
No, Bill,
Okay.
Ashley, do you want to do it? No?
I don't mind. I mean, if we need, I've done it before, I don't know how that works. But if you want to shadow,
Yeah.
maybe vice chair to take over next year is great. I don't
So,
mind that at all, but that's completely up to you guys.
awesome. Do we have a motion and a second? for
Is there
Ashley?
something on that? I don't know. If
No,
there's-
no, the code is wide open on that.
Okay,
There's no term limit on
okay,
chair and vice chair.
okay.
So I motion that Ashley Mann be chair and Ashley Shumway be vice chair.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, I guess I'm getting opposed.
So we just streamlined this whole process and we've got a vice chair and a chair already. Is this right? Okay.
Yeah.
the Ashley and Ashley. Perfect.
Love it.
AFHLI.
I think while we're jotting those.
EY.
while we're jotting those notes down, there will be a couple of opportunities every meeting to follow some of these rule procedures. Denise has a packet that she'll share with y'all, so you know how to make a motion, when it's required to receive a second. For this one, it was a unanimous vote, and so it worked out it worked out easily. Sometimes we do have two or multiple dueling propositions. It can also be a sensitive subject. We would hate for someone to feel like we're voting against them or it becomes contentious. And so we have some options for y'all, how we can move things forward, what things we can put in front of the group to a public vote, or if we want a silent vote where we all just write the name on the piece of paper and turn it in so it doesn't feel confrontation. We're glad to sort of work through with the two of y'all, or we can do a brief presentation next time if everyone would like to learn how to vote and do that, but we'll provide that information to y'all.
Little paper, and so, first, or bring Jill too, maybe you can help us to clarify which things we do need to have a formal vote on. So obviously the chair and the vice chair was one of them, minutes, approving minutes, is that right?
And if you are changing events, especially, excuse me, like if, you're changing dollar amounts for fees. So in case, like Motif, you want to switch it from 150 to 200, that's gotta be a vote. Anything that really changes the event should be voted on. Okay.
And then, as part of that, the advisory commission would make an advisement to the city council or to the staff. And so that advisement would be presented, this was a 11-0 vote, Councilmember Gale of Kilpack, what would you like to do, or take it to a work session? And then it would be presented with y'all's discussion or how you voted. So there is that element of, as an advisory commission, it is just advice to the council or to staff, but, it often goes that way, it's very important, so just a clarification, you're voting on the advisement to the council typically.
Do we also need to vote on, adjourning?
Yeah.
Okay. And how about with things? That's on
Yeah.
our agenda today.
It's just I need to.
Everybody's engaged.
No one ever votes no on that.
Perfect.
Good, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll speak a little bit about, I think Bryce kind of mentioned it, the description of events and then the event commission positions and how we're gonna do that this year. These are the kind of 5 events, for the year. We have obviously Orem Fest, Taste of Orem, which is new. That is like a new food, and we're kind of working on collaborating with the Come Together festival to make it like a food and music festival. That doesn't really exist too much in Utah, so this will be a big one that we're working on this year. Councilors are excited about that.
Quick note on that one, it's new again, Orem had the taste of Orem. It
COVID,
looks like long timers here.
COVID killed it.
Till 2018, so it's been 7 years, the event will look different, but there was a taste of Orem historically. This will be a similar but new type of event.
So a little bit of adjustments there to make it a returning one. Truck or Treat, which is the cars and the kids at University Place Mall. Lights On is a big one, like Bryce mentioned, it used to be a little bit smaller here at City Center, but we moved last year, we had about 2,000 people, this year over 7,000.
Wow.
That was a huge jump, and then we have right here for Heritage Days, again, that Memorial Day and Veterans Day celebration that we'll help out with. So we have the Orem Fest advisory positions. Now, we are doing it a little bit kind of like differently this year. We tried to write out descriptions of, especially because we have a lot of new people that aren't 100% familiar about the back end of it. But just some of the assignments, like 3 or 4 bullet points of things that you guys would be helping out with and doing a little bit of, how much would that take prep time before Orem Fest, how much of the week, again, like Bryce just mentioned, we want you guys also to enjoy Orem Fest. So although maybe you're over like the boutiques and things like that, it's checking in every so often. Again, baby contest, that's like a small part of the Saturday morning. You get to enjoy the rest of Orem Fest, but we kind of wrote out different position things and we'll chat about that and how we're gonna put it out there. But those are some of the advisory positions, and that there are also more that we are kind of do it again.
What's the Orchard Stand? Is that the old,
That's Summer Night's Dream.
Yeah.
That's the one at the mall.
Okay, but that's not Orm's Got Talent?
No.
Okay.
And then again, like this year too, for a lot of their stage entertainment, and with collaboration too with the Arts Council is gonna help out with that. And then we have also these event advisory positions. So we have like, we're doing a Google form that will have you guys fill out and kind of choose, read over like some of these like bullet points of things that you would be doing. And then choose like your first, second, third preference. Just so that we can kind of, get something that you're interested in. It tells you like, I don't want to do these certain events, so you can tell us, I don't like, even if I don't want any of these. And then also the delegation, delegation of advisory positions, but then we also have one called like an Orem, like just like an Orem event volunteer. So if you don't necessarily want to be like, maybe in charge of one of those, but you'd prefer to take 3 to 5 volunteer positions or at a certain ones, then we can also honor that. Because again, this is an advisory thing. We aren't forcing you to do any of that. And then at the end, it basically asks you too, if you're interested in taking an advisory role for some of those other dates, Taste of Orem, Truck or Treat, all of those. And that is, just having more of like, we'll have some of these more one-on-one conversations.
Will you send this?
Oh, yeah. We'll send it in an email. We'll send it in an email after all of this.
With this form, and it must be restricted to Orem, and I
Oh,
can change that
it was-
setting.
Yeah, I do want to change that.
And
So
And
they're
then-
like, we don't have access.
That's okay. Maybe do you want to just go out and pull up the form so they can just take a look at it? And so if you have any questions, there's like a comment box again, like, Debbie said that her family doesn't want to do the parade, so she'll just write that. And then make sure maybe she gets something in the beginning of the week. Same thing. If there's certain ones that you really want to do, certain ones that you don't want to do, say, I really want to be a part of Orem Fest, but I want to take a bigger role for a Taste of Orem, Truck or Treat, whatever. We'd love to know that. And so this will just help us kind of decide, again, it's nothing like personal. We're just trying to find out the best like commission things and, we'll reevaluate next year. People can switch positions. And yeah, again, on there, I'll tell you all of those, like some of the details.
See if you restricted here.
I think it's in.
Can I share?
Yeah.
A couple of the assignments will come out with, a couple of the assignments are date and time specific, and so some of it is just logistical. If you are really busy early in the week, you can do the end of week events or vice versa. If you want to be free on Friday and Saturdays or the really busy days, we're able to make an assignment to a Monday, Tuesday. So the assignments that will come out will have some of those logistics as well. So you can see that. Same thing with our events throughout the year. Some of y'all, you have more time in the fall and more time in the spring. We'll be able to line y'all up with that as well. So, and then the last thing I was going to say is that there will be a chance, some events, last year we split the parade into 3 people because it is so large and so cumbersome and there's a lot of different elements. And so some of these, you'll have a chance to work with a fellow commission member on or to coordinate or to split up the assignments. So all of them feel an appropriate amount of workload for what's required so that no one feels stretched too thin on one of the elements or one of the different events.
And does anyone have any questions right now? We'll send this in an email too, so that you guys can fill out.
Were you able to open it, those of you?
I can open it and I can't answer it.
We'll get it fixed. And we'll get it set up.
Sorry about that.
Okay, and if you guys have any questions about like the positions or like what you would be doing, any of that, we will let you know. Again, those full 4 bullet points are just like, idea things. We're totally welcome. You guys can be more involved, less involved. We want you guys to find like the good balance. And so it kind of tells you like, oh, this would require meeting with us like once or twice before, or maybe it's multiple times, and we will find a time that works with your schedule. Yes, Kenny.
Just real quick, are we wanting one of us over each thing or multiple of us over each thing?
I think we have 2 or more on the parade, and then after that, probably just like the one. Because again, like Bryce was saying, like this is our full-time job, so we want to help out with all that nitty-gritty. Honestly, boring stuff. I know,
I'm not missing the
back
parade.
end
Parade is
stuff.
actually fun.
The parade is.
The problem is, those dang banner carriers were so flaky that my kids, I'm just saying,
Let the record show, Debbie Larray.
But yeah, again, like also like, you know, if you're over, like, you know, if you're over this car show or whatever, like you are still gonna be there with your family, like it's a lot of, you know, things involved before, but.
Some of them are not.
That was very short.
Okay.
No, they're, we have, it's still there, it's still there, it's still there.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, and it's totally like, I know Ashley, you did the fireworks time last year, but the Blouse were there helping you. It's not like only one person can ever be there or help. It's just, you know, that's our kind of point of contact. Same thing if one of you chooses food contest, one of the other. Some of them too, it's not that you can't help with the pool party or Rotary breakfast. It's just like, oh, like, you know, the pool party doesn't have too much for you to do and our staff mostly does that. But if you guys have input, that's what this commission member or meeting is for, that you guys are welcome to input about the pool party and how about that. It's just like, oh, there's not as much responsibility for you there, so let's do something where you have more input and things like that. But this meeting is to share ideas for all of them as well, and so we're totally open and welcome to hear all of that. Any other questions? And again, you guys are welcome to email, text, whatever, call us if you do. And then when we are just gonna notify you guys of your assignments, and we will do our best to get everyone what they want and, you know, match it with what might be happening throughout the year. And then we will go over them the next meeting.
We'll present them, we'll get them to Ashley beforehand as well, to get over the process. And then, I'm so sorry, your name one more time. Cammy, did you have a preference? Would you prefer twice as many assignments, but to be on each of them for like continuity?
If we're breaking it down, for example, that. Like there's one person that is usually a kind of for, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Or if there's like, hey, 3 of us do the parade, the 3 of them. Like, you know what I mean? I was just wondering.
And we're open as we sort of look at this, if some of them do start to make sense, we're like, well, now I'm involved in a couple of things. But there's always a group of 2 or 3, maybe that doesn't work, so maybe after this first run, if y'all have experience thinking, yeah, I like the micro committee thing, we're open to that kind of feedback.
And I think we are also working with our staff, and Kenise is working on to do like a more improved volunteer system. We want to give a little bit more benefit to them and also to you guys. So if you like, again, like, I don't know if some of you are like, I don't really want to be the main point of contact for any of these, but I would love to do like 5 volunteer shifts, you know, for 5 of the events or something like that, a couple hours here and there. If that's your preference, then we're willing to make that work too. And so again, just finding the best way that you guys want to advise and be involved. And there is the comment box at the bottom. So if there's anything that you want to say or for us to know, then let us know. Yes, Ashley.
Is there more like, serving like opportunities, like more people want to join this committee? Is that still open or is that kind of closed for the year?
For the commission, that is closed, and that is,
Okay.
that is written into code.
Okay.
However, there will be plenty of opportunities, like several former members, that it used to be a commission position. We are going to have a position where they can be a key volunteer and
Okay.
work with us on, if they don't want to do the year round, they don't want to do this, but
Yeah.
I want to be involved with Orange Got Talent. We would love to get them to make
Got
an
it.
official volunteer and have a
Okay.
chance to coordinate directly with the commission member.
And again, like that volunteer thing that we're working on will be, like, we will make sure you guys all know, it'll be on socials. And I know that we've had a hard time with volunteers in the past, but maybe, you know, like this is specific, like you said, this one's specific to Orange Got Talent, this is what you would do. And so, again, this is kind of our first little go at this new commission and how we're, you know, doing positions, all of that. So we are totally welcome to all your guys' feedback and how we can improve it next year. We'll have those meetings after to discuss, but let us know.
So I have a question about the jump tree. You have an hour beforehand where is it just autistic kids can come or is it just special needs kids can come?
Low sensory, so the lights and the sounds and there's no music are on. We don't control who does or doesn't come during that time. It's just a lower sensory.
Okay, but it's just low sensory, it's not just for special needs kids.
Yeah, we don't limit anything. We just, the sirens and the music is all turned off for the first hour. For those fans that want to see it in a radio quieter environment.
Okay.
Perfect. And if you guys have questions, no, that's great. And if you guys have
In my
questions,
job and where I work,
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so, yeah.
Yeah, and we totally want to get like those and as like, kind of that one sheet that came up, it's like, okay, we have our, we have our May meeting, obviously that's hugely impacted by Orem Fest, but like, let's chat any ideas for, lights on, we get to September, it's, looking at the next little bit. So that is perfect. Let's move to some of this. Grand Marshal.
Richie, do you wanna? Are we ready to move
Yeah,
to?
let's
Grand
go.
Marshal?
We're
Okay, all right.
Thanks so much last.
Yeah, thank you for those of you who have a chance to fill out the nomination for the theme and for the Grand Marshal. We really had, 3 nominations for Grand Marshal. Do we want to have any other Grand Marshal nominees at this point?
Do we know the theme? Because sometimes the marshal fits the theme.
We haven't selected the theme.
Yeah,
So we
that's
can
fine.
go, let's go to the next slide and I'll show you what theme nominations are and then, yeah, we can kind of play back and forth on that. So, here are some of the themes, neighbors helping neighbors, bright future, beautiful past, Orem gives you more, all-star Orem, shine bright, our hometown, create opportunities, building the best Orem, influencing for good, and best days are ahead. And then we'll go back to this one.
As y'all are pondering though, as an example of the process, several were brought in. Our staff went through and compared the suggestions and lists against copyrighted themes, against themes that we've done historically, maybe themes that were very similar. And so now hopefully we are presenting a list that has already gone through a little bit because I think last year or 2 years ago, we fell in love with the theme and then it turned out it was some, 70s lyric and it was back out. So hopefully this is a list. Yeah, we'll find out, but hopefully this is a list that we're able to move forward with.
Okay, can you explain this, just like, I don't know, in my hometown, very family,
Yeah.
like, or, like, just explain to us the paragraph, like we did last year.
What's that?
Cause you guys sent out like a paragraph for each. family.
Yeah, so right now, like, we can like, if you guys are good with these Grand Marshals, you don't want to add anything in, and then maybe we narrow down the themes and then we can do the vote. Because right now there's like,
I think they're just wanting more information about.
Okay.
Who they are.
Who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, so, my hometown is an initiative the city kicked off this last year. And it's about bringing community together to uplift neighborhoods. So we started in Geneva Heights and they have what's called a community resource center. And they get together every Tuesday and Thursday night and they teach Spanish, they teach English classes, they teach cooking, they teach sewing, and it's just uplifting that neighborhood. And so it's been a huge success and we're hoping to do it in more neighborhoods this year. Yeah, they're kind of the leaders of that.
Very family before their work with my.
Yeah, and it's a couple. So Jim and Marilyn Berry, longtime Orem residents. He's a dentist.
And it was an assignment for, just so we know what we're going to, it was an assignment made through a missionary opportunity for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay, I know exactly what it is.
Okay, great.
Carl Hurst, he was a longtime Orem police officer, captain, and the director of the fitness center or the rec department before Bryce. And he passed away suddenly this last year. Yeah. But he was an amazing community advocate. And then we have the Gold Star families. Just out here next to our new building, we're building the Gold Star Family Monument that will honor families that have lost loved ones in the armed forces. So we kind of did that last year.
Or would it be like the Taylor band that would come?
No, we're aware of at least 2 families from Orem that would fit Gold Star qualifications.
Do Gold Star, you guys know what the Gold Star is? They've lost it.
Yeah, like
In the
an
military,
immediate family member,
killed in the line.
probably around August.
Before Orem Fest this year.
Yeah,
With this 6 days.
So we did something similar last year.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what the kind of the theme was last year. The theme was honor, hope, and healing, which is the theme of the Gold Star program. And we honored a veteran, Val Peterson, who's also works at UVU and is a legislator, but he's also a military guy. So that's what we kind of did. But we thought that this will be the last year that project's, we're raising money for it and that before it's done. So this would kind of be maybe our last chance to do it. So that's why I think that one's in there.
And we know if the families are open to it.
No, we haven't reached out to him yet about it.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple, we also, and so UVU/Val Peterson was the Grand Marshal this year. I think that's how we.
It was a
those on that,
good
but
pairing.
Yeah,
So something like the shine bright, would that go along with like gold, or shiny, or like, I'm just wondering, was there any tie-in?
There were a few tie-ins on this, on the themes, so, there was also, and the neighborhood commission was also nominated as.
Was that my
Marshall's,
hometown,
but-
the neighborhood?
Yeah, so our hometown could go with the my hometown, also like building the best forum could be influencing for good. If we were going with, the. Carl Herbst, a lot of these things could go like that. We went with the Gold Star Memorial, All Star Orange, Shine Bright. The Bright Futures,
Can I ask one
that stays
question?
ahead.
Yes.
In your city or this city, do you use this theme as great entry fees, like the themes, or how do you use your theme? Cause like for ours, we use it as every float kind of match the theme. Do you
Yeah,
do that
that's
as well?
encouraged, it's not, mandatory.
Well, Orm's float will match
Yeah.
that theme,
Okay,
so, but
so is that the only place you really see it, is maybe the cover form does magazine?
Yeah.
Basically, but we are totally open to seeing, like, cause I think when we did our feedback forms last week, they're like, what else does the theme do? And so we're welcome, you know, if we have different ideas on how we can incorporate the theme into, you know, some of the decor, into some of, you know, these like events and things like that, we're totally open to
So you want to
doing that.
vote?
This is a poll,
Oh.
and the voting official will be sent out when we do the other form. too.
Yes, Rodney.
Yes, you know, in 2026, we celebrate the 250th anniversary. However, that actually started in 2025 on April the 19th,
what is the anniversary of?
the birth of the United States. of America.
Oh, United States, okay.
Yeah, that's that small country.
I don't know if you're familiar with America.
And that birth actually, well, it started before April 19th, but April 19th of 2025 was the shot that was heard around the world. And I am proposing that this committee thinks about that. And that we plan events, maybe starting around April the 19th, in themes related to the birth of our nation.
Or what necessary.
Okay. Show, Bryce, Mara.
So you wanna add that as a possible theme?
I can tell you the library is already deeply involved in our 255 centennial. As well as there will be a number of things, but I think the opportunity to represent it in a theme of this event with others, that's amazing. I love it.
So is it gonna be 2025 or 2026?
2026 is the 5th centennial of July 4th.
Okay, July 4th.
6. I think the point is, the event started in
In
1775.
Concord, Massachusetts, that was in May.
What we're hoping to do with this poll, by the way, is just kind of narrow it down to 2 or 3 options, so that when we send it out, the form out, that you can go between 2 or 3. If that makes sense.
It keeps opening up in my Canva, like.
It is a Canva,
Yeah.
so then you
can
just
open it.
go
Go to
go
the-
through
go
to
to the
this
slide,
slide
go
and then
there.
pick the one you want. Okay.
Will it be sent out or do you want us?
No, well, I guess if we just narrow down like even to 3 or 4,
Okay.
the actual vote will be in the email.
We'll do your theme.
The theme, birth of the nation. America.
Are you wanting us to vote on both of them or this one first?
The Grand Marshal, the.
I think mostly the theme, because I think the Grand Marshal, we have 3 or 4 now that Rodney kind of mentioned those, and so I think that's a little bit, that narrows it down a bit. So when we send out this thing with the commission, we'll have this and then the votes.
For one, or going for more than one? Voting for one or for multiple?
So.
Okay.
That's next 2 is what I
I
meant.
know, I'm looking for either.
Do I have 3? Do I have?
10.
It's not, this is.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
That's funny.
I think we're all like editors.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Did everyone have a chance to put in a couple votes?
Yeah.
We put in more than one vote?
You can put in two.
Whatever.
Tried, but it's like it kept
Two
changing
per-
my.
And did we want to close the nominations at just the three, or did we want to have,
If they have any other ideas.
do you have any other nominations for the grand marshal too?
I was joking on my original submission, but wasn't there also a softball guy who suddenly passed? The one who read, I mean, baseball, the one who.
Skip the quarter.
Is he an Orem resident?
He was, yep.
Is that one we should throw into the mix? I was joking on my one that I submitted.
On the what one?
But the one I was submitted, it wasn't real. I think it was like swag or something. Because of the, whatever, Hulu stuff, but I wonder if he maybe. I know he's done, I mean, Orem outside, from an outsider, Orem is known for its youth baseball program.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's lost here, like, no one outside plays in outside, they come to Orem, Provost, Mapleton. So they're really known, Wasatch comes down, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would be something,
What's the name?
Skip the quarter.
yeah, so maybe throw him on there.
How do you spell last name?
WHOR. Yeah.
He passed away suddenly, but I think we were after still involved. Thank you.
He was our recreation chair at the time and ran OYB, very involved in the city,
Yeah.
very beloved.
I mean,
We'll
apparently,
take on.
a lot of good things have been said about him.
No, we did.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll take this poll
Let me see.
and send it out with the.
I may have blocked your number.
Description form.
We can also, so did you get it? We will add, Ronnie, we will add yours in, and then the poll when you guys do on your phones will be, it's like a Google form, so it'll be a lot.
Oh, I
easier
like
to
that.
miss.
Yes.
So, I think you should.
Hey, Pete, listen to her suggestion.
No, I was joking, I was just saying, my theme is winning, I was like, yeah. Then I was like, oh, you don't need to be excited about that here. And ours, if you're theme one, you got a little busy part. But so I was.
Hey, we can.
No, I was.
Hey, this commission gets a lot of benefits. That's funny. Okay.
Have they always, have the grand marshal team always been real people? Yeah,
Well, it's been
Usually.
before, hasn't
It's
it?
not like you have your cartoon mammoth Nero as the.
He would be honored.
I was wondering if that had been the case, speaking of a giant swing cut up on top of the fire. We've got options, it's your commission now.
Yeah, the sign, they just said they get the 100th store and on February 1st, it's gonna be $1 drink. That was a big thing today.
Oh, wow.
Well, we should get him as a sponsor and have him come out.
They did parade cookies last year
Yeah,
and we had to
that.
break apart several fistfights, so.
With the crumble cookies.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Crumble
crumble.
cookies.
We had the same comment, yeah.
We need this because we don't have any public guests today.
One thing that might be nice is turn over to the commission, I know we had a comment about the America or thoughts, it might be nice to just open it up more about.
It's your seat.
Open it up.
Open it.
Discussion.
Oh, wait, t-shirt? I put t-shirt there.
Will you just clarify, just vote on the thing for.
We didn't vote, we just narrowed down. That's how we'll vote.
Oh, yeah, guys. Can you guys write down your t-shirt size there? Just while I do it now.
Wanted to nominate another.
There's a unisex t-shirt one and then a polo. So, yeah,
Okay, now, since we have the gold star.
pretty much.
I think it'd be good, that would be an excellent thing.
For the polos?
For the nation or something.
Are you talking about the polos though? Or this, like the t-shirt one?
The board of heritage And a great nation, and how it grows.
It will be similar, but we'll get again. So if maybe put the size that you were last year, and then if it's too big, we'll just change it or whatever.
Does a lot.
You can write a note. if you want.
Heritage is Scott Swain.
What?
His name is Scott Swain. And he-
Starting with shirt size, colors still TBD.
It's like a polo again.
President
They'll do a polo and a shirt.
Okay.
has roots for freedom. And he lives. In fact, Peter and I was with him today to.
Might as well
Around.
go to
Place to study our heritage. So he's done a lot.
So are you going to have discussion about just if you have additional ideas or about these ideas?
Whatever you wanna discuss. Yeah.
All right, about themes or people?
If you have.
Hello?
Any, or if you have like a thought about, this would be cool what Orem says, put it on the list for next time. Like last year, my whole thing was trying to get it to be more like Gilmore Girls, and if you haven't seen Gilmore Girls, you don't understand the fanfare that went into all of their festivals, and they laugh at me every time. But.
Elena lives in like real Gilmore Girl land now. And she's showing me a picture of the whole scarecrow thing. She's like, you should do this. I'm like, where?
See, would it be so stinking cute, but even I've seen like those, like funky banner signs that like are on a pole and like, ooh, I know. And then
Christy, we
it's like
love
Orem
you because
Fest.
we love you and we loved it.
We didn't love us.
Are you talking for like evergreen
Where's the
signs that we
update? I
have?
had to go up that morning.
Right?
Even by myself.
So it's like,
That comes in.
but
I
that's.
feel like every so
like,
often where you're just like
later,
trying to go
that's
back
later.
and forth by yourself on the.
Or if you were to hear Lemon Bundle and stuff though, like this sign, that's later, nothing's off the table here. Like you can really try and bring up something that might be a new idea, like an idea I've had floating around is Orem should create a scavenger hunt. And have some good prizes at the end. So like put that on the drop.
Scavenger hunt.
We do that for Rex's birthday.
Yeah.
The rec center's birthday week.
Yeah.
Who's Rex?
Yeah,
Anyway,
we can
so,
definitely get
yeah,
that done
we
too.
can discuss anything. Is there anything to discuss?
So. Who's the chairs now, Sebastian?
No, not really.
Oh, sure.
One more moment.
You know, I was thinking about the birth ordination, and if you don't mind, I'll just throw out some ideas that, we just sit through at another time.
That's
Okay?
great.
I was thinking that, you know, sometimes I think that, how about if we had an event sometime in 2026, where people would have the opportunity to actually take the citizenship test.
Oh.
And hopefully, citizenship test. And I
Or
think,
maybe citizenship Jeopardy night.
yeah.
You know, that would be
And you
fun.
just don't have an idea, you can expand on it or kill it, whatever. Another thing, and this is what Scott Swain mentioned to me. How about if we built in one of our city parks, a miniature Independence Hall? And then kids could go in there, or adults, and sit down and actually listen to a little bit of the history of the building of this nation, so. expand on that. Or maybe we could build a Bunker Hill. I remember loving the game, King of Bunker Hill. Or, another thing, no, I need to visit or one heritage museum. I've been there for a long time, see what is going on there. And maybe we need to promote that more. Also, during this year and next year, maybe we could talk to Adam, the about having some programs. Even if we have to create some plans about or Revolutionary War, Civil War, things of this nature.
Have you seen Skies of Freedom?
Yeah, it is great. I think we need to know it. And, and maybe every month, we can have an event in some of the shell that would remind us what occurred in the government of this nation. So there's just some things I said down.
Perfect.
Great. Have movies and the library. You know, about there. So.
Do you have any thoughts of how we can incorporate heritage and, patriotism in Orem class?
The theme is one. You know, he's got this a great marshal. We come up with things, the birth of our nation, building of America. Something like that. I think then we leave it up to the community.
We've done a historical kindness walk at one of our events. I wonder if you could add a patriotism walk. Or if we could work to cobble, again, going back to our contacts, to partner with one of our high schools or groups to really add a couple of very special entries to the parade that would help set the tone, the theme. And sometimes it's just float after float. If you had 3 or 4 or 5 in a row that were blue and red, white, and blue, that could really push the message and connect.
I love it. In our,
You have theme colors. Like if you pick bright future, beautiful past, theme colors, red, white, and blue. So that people's floats tied in, even though it wasn't necessarily patriotic and colors.
Provo always wins most patriotic vote.
Yeah.
This is always red, white, and blue, because they're pretty fun.
I was also your direction. We need to go with a whole frontal with symbols on beating Provo and patriotism.
Well, 2026 in the year.
The Saturday morning, Rotary has.
They do a flag.
No.
We just don't like everybody flags. We also line our city flags, American flag, city flag on the parade route. If that can help it.
Right, we can actually have a rocket team here. Very slick.
We used to have a cannon.
Oh, the cannon, yes.
No.
Follow up the slide about talking to this man. That's a beautiful pass.
On April the 19th.
Oh.
we did a plan
Third degree.
someplace. Fire that's going to be put over.
If you can do the 3rd degree.
The restrooms died, so no.
I back to the
They never put
salute on that day.
Well, we have that festival and the Sarah, the military and
The Colonial
the
Festival.
Colonial
Yeah.
Festival. But it's after Orem Festival,
But
we have those
we-
festivals.
It's part of the spring festival.
There's also the Sons of the Revolution. Like it is, if they didn't have the money to actually dress up. Revolutionary.
Can we share some thoughts maybe on the whole markets?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you? Yeah, okay. I, full disclosure, nominated Carlhurst. But I just wanted to, I mean, I'm sure they'll put something out there, but I just kind of wanted to tell you. Just tell you about him. You'll probably get on and read, but if you didn't know, about him, I mean, he was a firefighter. He's born and raised in Orem, just, in school all the way through, and then came back and was a police officer in Orem, 20 years, something like that, even more than that, and then ended up taking over as our chief in a time when we didn't have a chief or were in a tricky situation, and he stepped in and took that, and then retired from that and was in with the rec center and with the building stuff. And what's the word for that?
Facilities?
Facilities, building all the new facilities, like he's the reason we have, some of the pickleball courts and some of the other new things and all the, was involved in that for 18 years. Is that accurate?
That sounds right.
Pretty close, anyway, I think that he legit served Warren for more than 40 years. And did hard jobs.
And as a side note, his mother was one of the people responsible for having our rec center at all. Back like 40 years before.
Yeah, and then he was super involved in the.
And she was the one that demanded we do a 50-meter pool.
Yeah.
For that.
Jen and I knew, we were gonna have no seating in by the pool for people to watch and, he really towed the line of advocating for the city and the budget, but also trying to help us figure it out. I mean, he was a great mediator. Really, really.
Could we name
Awesome.
the Community Spirit Awards after him? Could we call them the Carl Hurst Community Spirit Awards? I mean, it just came to me, because we can only give two of those out, are we doing that?
Oh, the Spirit Forum, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So as part of the Grand Marshal's responsibilities, they oversee the scholarship contest. And then they give out some awards at the opening, it used to be called the VIP dinner, I think we're now changing that to an
Volunteer.
opening. Yeah, an opening dinner, VIP sounded a little bit stuffy for what it was. But we give out some awards, that could be a wonderful spot to.
Well, there was usually 2 or 3 Spirit of the Community Awards, whatever. I'm just saying, can you name that community award after him? The Carl Hurst Community Spirit Award, I'm just saying.
I'm happy to write it down, but.
And that way, every year, those would be the Spirit Awards that his name would live on, I'm just saying. Because
Yeah.
I know him personally, and he was great. That's just a recommendation, you can decide.
Sounds like he was a veteran, so.
I don't know, what's he?
I don't know, he's a police officer for.
Yeah, I
And
worked.
then the chief, so.
He's 64. He only retired a couple years ago. Yeah, he was my direct predecessor.
3 years ago.
In terms of the Grand Marshal, his son would
Sean.
not qualify because he's a current city employee, he's one of our battalion chief.
Something like that.
And so it'd have to be his wife, we could not have Sean as.
Yeah, and Jackie, I
as part
mean, she'd be fantastic.
Yeah, we. If we were to do the family, we'd have to carve out that Sean could not be a part of it essentially.
Well, I kind of want to know the theme first and then match the Grand Marshal with the theme, I don't know if that's good, better, as we said. That's how we've done it in the past.
Is there just a lot of those things? It's for
Very.
I feel like a lot of those really could go.
A lot of those could go with.
Yeah. Are there any other things, is it just Grand Marshal, do we have other things we also do, like? We used to have like a patron person and like our line would be like the fireman, the Grand Marshal, the service award, the patron. But like we had 4 floats in our, is this our only thing? Or do we have?
We have student marshals as well,
Okay.
those are selected by the Grand Marshal through the
But
S.
nothing, any of
Through
these other
the
ones can fall.
teacher,
Principals.
principals of the school.
Two different things,
Yeah,
and then they're presented alongside the Grand Marshal.
Okay, but no other like an equivalent of like a service award and this.
Well, the
they do
community
have
spirits
they
are-
have the Spirit of Orem award winners, they'll ride in like a float.
Which 2 of those?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's what made.
And that's
that's what I'm saying.
on those as well?
We do.
Or-
Yeah, it'll
So, like-
come, like, so they have a period of nomination, like people from the community nominate.
Okay.
And then they'll get chosen and yeah.
And then we.
So like
buy
the
them.
Berry family could essentially win that.
Yep.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Okay, so we do, thank you.
And there's usually about half a dozen of those, and we narrow them to 2.
Okay.
And they're all good, they're all very good.
Yeah.
It's hard to fix.
So you're like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Any other questions? Okay,
Next meeting in February.
But we'll vote before then, right, you'll send it out?
Yeah.
Or vote?
yes, quick question about meeting times. Going forward, I know we talked about the second Thursday. Is anyone opposed to the third Thursday?
Is it gonna be 4 o'clock every single time?
Yes.
That's an issue for you. Well, it's just really hard for me because finding a sitter for my daughter and for.
What time works for you?
At 5 o'clock would be better. Because for things, because sometimes I have to go to IUP meetings right after school and, yeah. If I have a night, people don't stop.
That would be considered.
That's just
Certainly, yeah, we can certainly consider that. I think we also need to, we have our city council representatives too, that they have a super busy schedule, but
We will double check and then if
Yeah.
it looks like, I know, because last time we met even like a little bit later, which I think was just a little bit late for a lot of people as well. And so we didn't want to go way into the evening. That's pretty late days for many people. So we will look into adjusting even if we can maybe 30, we will see what we can do. If not to, we are totally welcome. Again, like some of these positions too, like we're good to meet with whatever time works for you for your certain position things and we'll try our best to just choose a time that works for at least the majority and yeah.
there is also this, meeting is on Zoom, so if you need to come here a little later and want to chime in during that first half hour with remotely and then more confidence, so there's some other.
Yeah.
Do we have any? Or something?
We can do that.
They will do that.
We'll get that
Ready for next time.
Great idea.
especially because we got some new faces that will have. Okay.
We just say absolutely right a lot of the time.
Right, Ashley, for
Right,
so.
Actually, yeah.
anything else, anybody? Okay, I'd like to make motions to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
I will second.
Perfect.
Alright.
Thank you, guys.
Sorry.
Again, if you guys have any questions, please let us know.
Thank you.
Happy not. Yes, for some reason, I feel like the last commission ate a little bit more. But take some of that, there's plates, take some home to your family. I'm sure a lot of you guys have kids, take it to your kids.